Yes, that's the weather report for today in Fresno, California. It's going to be hot. So I thought this would be a perfect time to introduce the bottomless ice cold water bottle. But first, let's explain what it has to do with Emily Dickinson, who wrote a famous poem called A Narrow Fellow in the Grass. And I bet you can figure out what that narrow fellow is. But she encounters a particular creature out on a walk, and here's what happens. Although this is just the end of the poem. Several of nature's people I know, and they know me. I feel for them a transport of cordiality. I mean, you know, squirrels, they're so cute. Pigeons, all sorts of creatures in the world are just so beautiful and so much fun to watch. But never met this fellow, attended or alone, without a tighter breathing and zero at the bone. Now, zero at the bone, I think, refers to the fear. Like, you know, it's a great phrase. You know, the sort of, your heart beats fast when you see a snake. I guess she doesn't like snakes, as many people don't like snakes. Well, in this case, it's going to be zero, not at the bone, but zero in the bottle. So I'd like to explain a method for getting sort of a bottomless ice-cold water bottle. And this is something that I do all the time these days because it's so hot. I mean, I don't have air conditioning in my house, but in any case, it feels so much better to drink water that's zero at the bone, as in 0 Celsius, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But 32 doesn't sound so impressive, but zero, that's pretty dramatic. So you're going to be making water that's 0 degrees, exactly the same temperature as ice and water when they're in a mix. And the way you're going to do that is very simple. So you need a bottle like this to start with. Okay, and then you're going to fill it up. What a lot of people is they fill the bottle all the way to the top. And then, you know, then put it in the freezer and think, oh, I got cold water. Well, no, that's not what you want to do. You want to fill it up so it's mostly full. But see the way, if you have an angle like this, there's actually a large surface area of what's going to be ice. So you put the lid on, and then take this plastic bottle, probably not glass, it might shatter in your freezer, and you're going to put it into your freezer at an angle like that, which I have, it so happens, already done. So here's my bottle, and as you can see here, it's at an angle. And you'll notice that there's a line here. This is air, that's water. So this guy is actually below zero, but if you were to take your bottle of water, which you keep beside you, so now at your desk or at your dinner table, whatever, you have two bottles. One is just plain old water, nice warm water on a 114 degree day, and then you have a ice cold bottle. So all you do is pour some water from warm water. You can probably hear the ice crack. Seal it. And now notice the way there's a lot of surface area to contact the water and the ice. So if you shake this guy for, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, you will drop that water to 0 degrees. I mean exactly 0 degrees, because that's the temperature of ice and water when they're mixed well. And at that point, then you'll notice you have very cold water and you have a nice cold bottle to hold, but you also have almost all the ice left, because it only melts a little bit of ice. So even if you get rid of all that water, it's too precious to throw away, so we'll just put it back in there. See the way the ice is hardly phased at all. So you can then refill this guy over and over again during dinner. And every time you do so, and shake it just so, you will return to 0 degrees. And when you get done with the meal, even if you've had 5 or 6 glasses of cold water, you will then have a little bit less ice in there. No problem. Just take that bottle and put it back in the freezer at the same angle it was at. which means sideways like this. You can even have some of the water touching the lid, but don't go like this, because if you have it fully like that, then there will be no place for the water to be poured in. So it has to have at least a little gap like that, so when you open the lid, when it's solid ice, you'll be able to get the thing to, you know, have access to water getting in. So I'm just going to take this guy and position it carefully. Perhaps you can see here that the water is touching the lid, but there still is a gap at the top, so you can put, you know, more water in. So put that baby to bed for the night, and next time you want 0 at the bottle of water, you got it. Happy drinking.